In 2025, archaeologists lowered themselves into a hole in the Egyptian desert, 23 feet down. They found a king's tomb, the largest ever discovered from a dynasty that history forgot existed. The entrance was decorated, the burial chamber was intact, and the king's name had been carved off the walls. Someone erased him. The question is, why did they need to? This is not the Egypt you were taught. 1640 BC, the most powerful civilization on Earth has just collapsed. Not slowly, not from drought or plague, from inside. The Hyksos, foreign kings from the east, had done something no one believed possible. They had taken Egypt, Memphis, the royal capital, gone. And they brought weapons the Egyptians had never seen: the horse, the chariot, composite bows that could kill at 300 feet. In the middle of this collapse, squeezed between foreign conquerors in the north and rival Egyptians in the south, a small dynasty rose up in Abydos, the city of Osiris, the gateway to the underworld, the sacred ground where Egypt's first pharaohs were buried. They called themselves kings of Egypt. No one else agreed. So, who was the man buried in that tomb? And why was he powerful enough to be erased? His name is gone, but we know what his knights looked like. To the north, Hyksos envoys arrive with tribute demands disguised as trade. To the south, Theban generals who do not acknowledge his right to rule. And within his own court, priests of Osiris who hold more loyalty than he does. He made a decision that night. We know this because archaeologists found the evidence. He didn't build a modest tomb. He built the largest royal burial chamber of any king in his dynasty. He chose to be buried at the sacred mountain, the same necropolis as Egypt's very first pharaohs. That was not humility. That was a statement. It said, "I belong here. I am legitimate. I am Egypt." He had artists paint Isis and Nephthys at his door. Isis, goddess of birth; Nephthys, goddess of death. Together, they meant one thing. This man crossed between worlds as a king. But there is a detail in this tomb that changes everything we thought we knew, and historians almost missed it. Here is what historians discovered when they compared this tomb to the Turin king list, the ancient Egyptian record of every pharaoh who ever ruled. The Abydos Dynasty is not on it. These kings are not listed anywhere. Not absent because they were minor. Absent because someone went back through the records and removed them. This is what historians call damnatio memoriae, condemnation of memory, the ancient world's most brutal weapon, not execution, erasure. And here is the detail that should haunt you: the victors who erased these kings, the new kingdom pharaohs who finally reunified Egypt. They learned how to fight the Hyksos by studying everything the Hyksos brought: the chariot, the bronze axe, the composite bow. The very weapons that ended the Abydos dynasty became the weapons that rebuilt Egypt. The kings of Abydos were erased not because they failed. They were erased because they were in the way of a story. The story of Egypt triumphant, Egypt restored, Egypt eternal. That story required a villain, and it required the chaos period to appear leaderless. But there were kings here. This tomb proves it. So, what happened on the night the Hyksos finally came for Abydos? We know exactly how the Abydos dynasty ended. We know because archaeologists found the skeleton of King Seneb-K, the only named ruler of this dynasty. His bones showed 17 separate wounds: battle axe, sword, spear. He was not killed from behind. He was killed facing the enemy. The Hyksos came from the north. The Theban dynasty watched from the south. And Abydos, the city of the dead, died. The looting happened fast. But the erasure took longer. Because the erasure wasn't vandalism. It was policy. The later pharaohs, the ones who rebuilt Egypt's glory, commissioned scribes to rewrite the king lists. They commissioned stonemasons to remove inconvenient cartouches from temple walls. They built a version of history where Egypt had been leaderless during the dark period, where only chaos had ruled, so that when order returned, It looked like resurrection. And for 3,600 years, it worked. In January 2025, Joseph Wegener's team lowered themselves into that hole. They found a limestone burial chamber, decorated entryway, mud brick vaults, 16 feet high, the goddess Isis on the left, Nephthys on the right, and where the king's name should have been, stone. Excavations are ongoing through 2025. They believe there are more tombs beneath Anubis Mountain, more kings, more erased names. The Abydos Dynasty ruled for maybe 20 years. They left behind limestone chambers and painted goddesses, and a royal necropolis that survived 3.5 millennia. The people who erased them built empires. The empires are gone. The tomb is still there, and this question will not leave you. When the winners write history, and they always write history, how many rooms beneath the sand hold names we have not yet found? How many kings are still waiting to be discovered? And how many of them were erased because they were inconvenient to someone who needed the world to believe their version of events?